Those joining along at home. Before we begin, just a couple of housekeeping items. Please take a moment to silence any phone or electronic device. Restrooms are located on either side of the stage. Men's restrooms are located to the corridor to the stage right. Women's restrooms are located down the corridor to the stage left. A gender-neutral restroom is available in the basement, located next to the elevators. Where's the one about the tornado? Okay. For those along on YouTube with St. Louis, we welcome your participation on the chat section this evening. To join the conversations, you must create a YouTube account or log into an existing one. Questions will be reviewed after the event, and Mayor Spencer will have responses on her social media outlet channels. At Lambert Airport, we often say that every arrival marks the beginning of possibility, and that same spirit is reflected here tonight. St. Louis is a city on the move, investing in infrastructure, strengthening our neighborhoods, expanding opportunity, and building a future that connects people to the possibility, just as our airport connects travelers to destinations around the globe. And in case you haven't heard, this Sunday, we will begin nonstop service to London Heathrow on British Airways. That will be the first time since 2003 we've had nonstop service to London. And we could not be more proud to bring that opportunity to the residents of our city, our region, and our state. Tonight is an opportunity to reflect on where we have been, recognize the progress we have made together, and look ahead to the work still to come. It is now my honor to welcome Reverend Lyndon Bowie for the opening reflection.
A few hundred years ago, there were a couple of ships passing each other on the oceans. The captain to one ship was lost, so he signaled to the captain of the other ship, asked the question, "Where are we?" The captain of the second ship responded, "Well, where did you come from?" And he responded, "We don't know." So he says, "Well, where are you headed?" And the response was, "We don't know." So his response was, if you don't know where you've come from, and you don't know where you're going, what difference does it make where you are right now? We've gathered here today so that we can hear where we are right now, because we know where we've come from. We have some inkling of where we're headed, but what's important is what's going on right now, because that sets the stage to where we are headed. So I want us to pay particular attention to our state of the city on tonight. If you don't mind, I'd like to invoke the presence of our deity as we proceed. Would you join me in a prayer? The God of us all, we bow now in humble submission to your divine will and your power, asking you to manifest your presence in this place. Guide our hearts and our thoughts. Help us, oh God, to truly comprehend where we are right now. Lead us in the pathway to the successes that are ours and our tomorrows. Bless our mayor, bless our legislators, bless our government workers, bless this city. We pray as we proceed. We ask it all in the highest name we know. Amen.
St. Louis, we have one more piece of housekeeping business. We are monitoring the possibility of severe weather tonight. If we come under a tornado warning, we will immediately stop the program, and staff will help guide everyone to the basement in an orderly fashion. Taking the stairs. Stairs are located east, north, and south ends of the building. Please make sure to follow the staff's directions if this should happen. St. Louis, at this time, please rise for the presentation of colors from the Gateway STEM High School Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps, followed by a playing of the national anthem.
Left face, march! Present colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
March time, march! Forward, march!
St. Louis, at this time, please welcome the Director of Streets, James Jackson.
Thank you. Thank you, folks. Let me get myself squared away here. Oh, boy. One quick minute. Oh, great. Thank you. Okay, there we are. Forgive me, folks. I'm a boomer. I'm not yet in the technology age, so I'm going to mostly read my speech to you this evening that I've taken a few days to prepare. Good evening. To the citizens of this great city and the elected officials who have come here to hear the good news. To the superb public servants, our employees, and their families. I am absolutely thrilled to be here standing on this stage in front of you. Okay. And to the home and to have this honor. My name is James Jackson. I'm the director of the Streets Department for the City of St. Louis. If you'll allow me one quick moment, I want to thank my wife. She's been my soulmate and my life partner for quite a while now. We won't even talk about the years. Her being willing to actually take this trip with me one more time is the reason we're here. Dear, I promise you this. We take this ride in the park, we can go home and take care of our grandbabies for the rest of our lives. I love you. I began my role here last November. In fact, November 17th, 5 months to the day. And as I introduce our mayor this evening, I'm going to try and do it through a series of instances that show how she captured my respect for her leadership and genuineness as our working relationship began. I'll share how she continues to prove herself with my every observation, opportunity to interact with her as she goes about her business, making every effort to fulfill promises she made to her in her inaugural speech to you all and to the city of St. Louis. To her parents, I know that you are proud of the person that she is and continues to demonstrate every day. Thank you for your loving influences in her life. To her son, Cy, having a mother who's a mayor can always be a challenge. Just as she works to fulfill the promises she made to this city, I promise you that I will continue to give my everything to support her and help ensure she fulfills the promise she made to you. So let's begin. Mayor Spencer captured my attention and my intrigue from the very beginning. Just as some background, I have worked in 5 major cities over the course of my career. And over the 20 years, she was the first chief executive officer to be a part of the interview process for this vital role in her executive team. You can ask anybody who knows anything about running a successful large municipal organization, and they'll tell you. After public safety, there are 3 things that will get you hired or fired quicker than anything: winter operations, refuse collection, and street maintenance. That understanding, quite possibly something to do with the 10 years she served you as Alderwoman for the 20th and 8th wards respectively. But it was apparent she understood this very critical role. Early in the process, I recognized her qualities of openness, trust, and commitment as I learned about her choice for Chief Operating Officer, Colonel Ben Johnson. If you don't know this man's story, I encourage you to Google his name, but not now. Do that later. He has a stellar reputation and I believe you will recognize the qualities and experience which I felt aligned with my principles and leadership practices. In other words, I felt very comfortable establishing a working relationship with the leadership in this organization. From early on, I observed the mayor's leadership and her desire to be among the team members she fought to lead. She was out front and in the fight. Our very first snowstorm of the season, I trailed behind her as she rode with one of our most experienced snow fighters, who's here with us this evening. We didn't have a size small vest, a safety vest, so I gave her one of mine because safety comes first. It looked like a robe on her. But she put it on and jumped up in that cab of that vehicle like she was ready to do battle. I got to tell you, I got a charge out of that. As a Marine, there's nothing more impressive and inspiring than leaders who actually lead. From the very beginning, there's never been a moment where I doubted her sincerity and commitment for the city of St. Louis. My interview with her told me a lot about who she is and what she's committed to doing. But she truly captured my loyalty during the snow fight. When things got tense, as they always do, she stood by me and my team and showed her support. Each and every time she comes into her cabinet meeting, she's prepared to hear the reports from the leaders in her cabinet. Her laser-like focus as she listens intensely with that inquisitive hum that she utters as she takes in the objectives and the data depicting the performance. The well-planned, choreographed reports on board and state activities from her chief of staff and operational imperatives from her chief operating officer all come together to reinforce movement to the ultimate goal, hitting the target, improving service. As I continue to learn about our mayor, her leadership continues to come into focus for me. Yes, the 10 years as an alderwoman was impressive. Yes, her willingness to sponsor meaningful bills and fight for those who can't always fight for themselves, including those afflicted with drug addiction. But recently, she's shown her bravery and a real understanding of what losing a major revenue source for the city could mean to the residents of this city. She's shown her willingness to stand and face the onslaught of attacks and criticism on her service and career. I've also learned about the mayor by reading her inauguration speech, which you can find on the city website. In that speech, she noted a bike ride she took shortly before her election day last year to Bellefontaine and Calvary cemeteries. And she noted some of the people buried there, including her grandparents, as well as Dred and Harriet Scott, enslaved African Americans who in their fight for their family's freedom fueled the abolition movement. And when I got to that part, my impression and conviction for this St. Louisan really entrenched itself within me. See, I'm a sucker for righteousness, and my faith wasn't going to allow me to turn away from anyone who was making the effort to live that quality. In her speech, the mayor promised her son that she would do everything within her power to ensure he had the opportunity to grow up in St. Louis and to enjoy everything this beautiful city has to offer. That part where she made the promise to every resident to restore St. Louis to a place where they and visitors could work, live, play, and recreate and enjoy all that this great city has to offer in safety. That was my drop the mic moment. That was when I reaffirmed within myself that I would always be at the ready. And I invite each and every one of you also to be at the ready, to always be prepared, to give our best to assist her in keeping her promise to her son and to this great city. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise and join me in welcoming to this podium our 48th mayor of the city of St. Louis, the Honorable Mayor Cara Spencer.
Had to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a dime, but I always had a vision, always had high hopes.
To everyone who came tonight to hear the state of the city, the state of our city includes a lot of pain, includes a lot of hurt. It includes lifetimes of disinvestment and a lifetime of work ahead of us. I want to thank our neighbors, our community partners, members of the Board of Aldermen, distinguished guests, my friends, my family, those who are watching from home, our city workforce, and everybody who came out tonight. Thank you for being here. It is an honor, and it's truly a privilege, one that I don't take lightly, to stand here tonight and offer my first State of the City. To everyone this evening, I want to tell you that the state of our city, the future of our city, it is promising. We do have challenges, but our future is promising. Despite some big challenges this year, there has been so much good, and there's even been a bit of fun this year. The Sue Billikens made it to the March Madness. That's right, we hosted the first and the second rounds of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. And the 2026 Olympic figure skating events. We gave Alyssa Liu her iconic hairstyle, and we announced that we will be hosting LA 28 Olympic Soccer Games. We also secured, as Director Hamdenbergy pointed out, a direct flight to London. Leaves on Sunday. We celebrated both Powell Symphony Hall's official reopening after their beautiful renovation and our beloved Gateway Arch's 60th anniversary. Can we get these rolling? Our zoo welcomed 5 cheetah cubs, 2 critically endangered leopard cubs, and a baby ocelot just last week. We still haven't found the monkeys or the goats. We're still looking, I'm still looking. Our city workers continue to win. Our Forestry Division and Board of Public Service winning national awards, multiple national awards. And just this last week, it was announced by USA Today that Forest Park was named the best park in the country, again. These are just a few of the new and exciting things, but as you know, when I took the oath of office just a year ago, I promised a government focused on the basics: core city services, public safety, and growth. I promised that we would start proving, pothole by pothole, brick by brick, that this government, this city government, can set standards and we can meet them. We can meet them. Thank you. That change has started. Our city is on the path to a turnaround, and we are not nearly as far away as some people might think. I want to begin with a sincere thank you to the workers in our city departments who have been doing far more with far less for far too long. Thank you for your dedication. To our community partners, thank you for reminding us what it means to truly be with the city. The state of our city is a direct reflection of the work you do every single day. I also want to thank our Board of Aldermen for representing their constituents with passion and with purpose. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard passed several tornado relief funding bills. Alderwoman Sonier led discussions on Code Blue and serving our unhoused. Alderman Narayan has continued to champion short-term rental regulations, and Alderman Aldrich passed a bill allocating an additional $1 million for displaced tenants. Alderman Devotie passed legislation to modernize our city charter, and Alderwoman Velasquez has been a long and strong champion of charter modernization, especially in collaboration with the Director of Personnel and Personnel Reform. Alderwoman Cox-Antwi deserves a recognition for getting the earnings tax renewal on the ballot. Can we all take a moment and celebrate that this critical funding for city services passed with a massive 85% last week, the largest margin since the 2011 first vote. That is a huge vote of confidence from our community. Thank you. Alderman Oldenburg has spearheaded efforts to regulate tobacco and vape shops. Alderwoman Tyus brought forward development along North Kings Highway in the 12th Ward. Alderman and Vice President Cohn continues to champion the airport, especially modernizing it. Alderman Browning has spearheaded legislation to clarify our election code and carried critical infrastructure bills forward. Thank you. Alderwoman Keyes led catalytic development of South Jefferson and Market in downtown West and Midtown. Alderwoman Boyd helped create the MLK West Business Association, which sponsored a holiday giveaway that helped over 200 families this holiday season in need. Thank you. Alderwoman Schweitzer championed investments in our water infrastructure, and I'd be remiss if I didn't thank her for helping grow our city's population with the birth of her son, Vinny. And finally, I'd like to thank President of the Board, Megan Green, and Comptroller Donna Behringer, my two co-members of the Board of Estimate and Apportionment. They took immediate action, calling on special sessions and setting up emergency funding accounts to put the welfare and recovery of those impacted by the May 16th tornado at the top of our priorities. Thank you for your dedication to this work. Tonight, I am presenting to you a state of the city in three parts: where we started, where we're at, and where we're going. Let me be clear in saying, this is not just a feel-good speech. We are here to talk about the work, the reality of what we inherited, and the decisive operational change that is now underway. We're not going to be sugarcoating things tonight, and we're going to be talking about some tough issues. But if we're going to fix this city, we have got to look our problems directly in the eye, as we did again and again this year. So first, let's look at where my administration started. When my administration went to work on April 15th, 2025, we were focused on improving staffing, accountability, and basic city services. And our first crisis, it's hard to remember, but does anybody remember the sinkholes? When the city literally opened up with those two massive sinkholes? I am so grateful for the swift action of our city workers, in particular our streets department and the Metropolitan Sewer District, who quickly got those under control. Our focus, of course, shifted immediately on May 16th when a mile-wide EF3 tornado tore through our city. A few minutes changed everything. The destruction was massive. Over $2 billion of damage and 1 million tons of debris across more than 20 neighborhoods, impacting over almost 50,000 people, over 23,000 households. We lost the lives of 5 residents: Patricia Pendleton, Juan Baltazar, Dolores Holmes, Rena Scott Lyles, and Larry Patrick. Our team's focus shifted overnight from core city services to full-scale emergency response that our city, simply put, was not prepared for. No city is prepared for. My first executive order wasn't to modernize and streamline government. It was to declare a state of emergency and to get to work with the resources, systems, and the tools that we had. In the aftermath, we saw the absolute best of St. Louis. We saw people who were truly with the city. We saw neighbors helping neighbors. We saw thousands of volunteers. We saw our nonprofit community mobilize, the Red Cross, the Urban League, Love the Lou, Spirit of St. Louis, For the Ville, Invest STL, Action St. Louis, Mission St. Louis, Wesley House, For the Culture, People's Response. There were so many organizations and boots on the ground helping to provide much needed supplies, meals, and a whole host of just personal human supports. Thank you. We saw many in our business community rally with resources, like some of the largest construction firms in town and electrical companies who came to the table voluntarily with crews, dozens of crews and equipment to help our community in need. Thank you for stepping up to the table. We saw our city workers and emergency contractors, the very people we rely on for core services, work around the clock to clear debris, secure sites, and to keep the lights on, and in many cases, to turn them back on. That is what a functional government looks like. Our city workers stepped up and delivered for our people. As an example, Annalise Stover and her team at St. Louis Area Agency on the Aging showed up in ways that no doubt saved lives. Starting the day after the tornado, they coordinated meal delivery through a network of senior service providers to 16 senior living facilities and 13 recreation centers in the tornado zone. Within the first few months, they connected with more than 400 survivors and worked with the health department to link nearly 4,000 seniors to support with disabilities to support. Thank you for helping to prioritize those folks in greatest need. You connected them with the long-term recovery group, establishing a senior-oriented disaster case management program that still prioritizes some of our city's most vulnerable. Annalise, please stand so we can recognize your efforts. Annalise truly went above and beyond, identifying things that were in our blind spots and enabled us to help folks better. Thank you. To all the amazing people within our fire department, our police department, and the many police and fire departments from around the area who responded in our city's time of need. You are heroes in our city. You were absolutely with the city when we needed you most. There are many stories of heroism, but one that stands out to me I want to share with you today. In the minutes following the tornado, fire department captains Cody Carpenter and Jock Matthews responded to a severe pediatric emergency in the impact area. Captain Carpenter grabbed his medical supplies and ran 2.5 blocks around downed power lines and found Captain Matthews providing emergency care to a 5-month-old. The baby and their mother had been picked up and dropped multiple times during the tornado, and the situation was dire. Deciding not to wait for a medic, they took immediate action, tracking down one of our police officers, Officer William Triplett, who managed to transport the struggling child and their mother through debris, down power lines, fallen debris, and make it all the way to Children's Hospital. Without their efforts and the efforts of their teams, that child may not have made it. Please join me in recognizing our brave firefighters and first responders. Please stand to be recognized. Thank you. Throughout the response, and in spite of high-profile political clashes in recent years, We have proven that the city can have meaningful political partners. I called Governor Kehoe within an hour of the tornado, and he was with us in person by 9 a.m. the next morning. We partnered with the Board of Aldermen to swiftly move $30 million in RAM settlement funds for the recovery. And at the state level, we worked across the aisle and in the aisle with state legislators, including Representative Kimberly Ann Collins, to secure an unprecedented $100 million to leverage and deploy for disaster response efforts. Thank you for your leadership. In Congress, our U.S. Senators Eric Schmidt and Josh Hawley and Congressman Wesley Bell worked with the governor and with our teams to secure a disaster declaration and federal assistance funds that many thought weren't possible. At our federal, state, and local legislators were here with the city in some very meaningful ways. There simply wasn't time for political dysfunction, and in my view, we still don't have time for that sort of dysfunction. We have a city to run, and we have real work to do in our community. So my priority will remain effective cross-jurisdictional collaboration that delivers real, tangible results for our city. The tornado also exposed a truth we all knew. No city can lead a recovery of this scale alone. For decades, Americans have relied on FEMA to provide federal leadership, resources, and expertise in responding to natural disasters. Expecting each city to manage this alone is simply unrealistic. Unfortunately, St. Louis has become a guinea pig as the nation has pulled back these types of resources. As a city, we lack the infrastructure to handle the magnitude of this destruction. Yet still, we removed 167,000 tons of debris. We mobilized $155 million in federal, state, and local funds, with more to come, and we have been steadily building out that infrastructure. As a result, we are finally seeing some meaningful progress in demolitions and home repairs. Though it is slower than I or anyone wants, we are accelerating that progress as we speak, and we will start to see significant federal funds for rebuilding. As we've seen in Joplin, this will take months, this will take years, and even decades. It cannot happen in months, but it can be done, and it will be done in St. Louis. The tornado response laid bare the vulnerabilities of city government. For starters, the sirens did not go off on May 16th. They should have. As mayor, this is my responsibility, and we've acted to ensure that this will never happen again. I've ordered an overhaul of our siren system, initiated an independent investigation, and we have clarified internal protocols. We restored coverage by the end of 2025 and will have fully completed modernization by next month. We're committed to enhancing our emergency response, and we've appointed and hired a new SEMA director, Greg Favor, to lead this effort. And he implemented new storm tabletop exercises to ensure we are prepared for any disaster to come. The system was broken, we owned it, and our city is fixing it. This is what is needed to rebuild trust in our city government, and that isn't the only time we've done this. I want to talk about where we are going now. As I said, recovering from the May 16th tornado is my #1 priority. But my team and I have also got a responsibility to keep our city running and to secure a better future for all St. Louisans. You voted for a city government transformation that started with the basics. We cannot attract residents, we can't retain the ones we have unless we are able to clear our roads, if permits take a year to get going, and our snow response is a punchline. My administration inherited a system suffering from abysmal turnover, antiquated technology, and a crippling lack of trust. The operational failures of the past cannot continue. The old ways of doing business, inefficient, sometimes inexplicable, are unacceptable. You elected me to clean up our city, and that is what we are doing. If we see something broken, we are going to own it, and we are going to fix it. This is the new standard, and this is what builds trust. Trust requires accountability and results. We're not afraid to call out our own mistakes, and we welcome accountability. Two examples of that are the recent launch of 311 and the implementation of CityStat. Our CityStat is a website where we will be publishing quarterly data about our city services to identify our challenges, to improve operations, and most importantly, to commit to transparency in our governance. We've also launched the 311 phone number, which makes it easier for residents to engage with our government and to hold our systems accountable. Speaking of accountability, snow removal, right? It was an obvious area of need improvement. To prevent a repeat of previous failures, we overhauled our snow removal plan. I issued an executive order establishing a winter weather command, unified command, creating the proactive planning command and coordination structure with our key department leaders, something that had been badly needing in our city. Our city team delivered on those results. Thank you to the leadership of Director Jackson. And his excellent team. This wasn't a fluke. Here's how we did it. We effectively deployed our fleet of brine and snow plows. We activated the GPS on our snow plows for real-time monitoring and quality control. We secured contracts with private companies for additional support, and we doubled on-call pay for our drivers to account for shortages. That's right, that's pretty good. They worked hard, they deserved that raise. We proactively planned and prioritized our side streets. We plowed 21,290 miles. We distributed 6,800 tons of salt. We responded and closed 1,400 tickets over 3 days compared to 1,700 over 17 days last year. Thank you to CSB and everybody involved in that response. And we provided clear, direct communication about what we were doing, what you could expect, and what we were doing moving forward and how it was going. This communication made all the difference. Most importantly, we had city employees like Edwin Young. Big Ed, as I've called him for the last 15 years, is a labor supervisor in the towing division and street department. He's been with the city for over 20 years. He and his team are on call 365 days out of the year, around the clock, and in the winter storm this year was no different. Ed and his team spent hours in frigid weather cleaning up the aftermath of a tractor-trailer accident where cargo had spilled on the Poplar Street Bridge. They also assisted many stranded vehicles, keeping our neighbors and our residents and visitors safe. Ed, please stand so we can recognize you. I wasn't lying when I called him Big Ed. And Big Ed wasn't the only one who did that. When it comes to the unhoused and the services we provide, we knew we were inheriting a challenge. We knew that there would be an increased need given the scale of the tornado's destruction. So we worked with the Board of Aldermen to move an unprecedented $13.7 million for housing and winter shelters through our new Code Blue proactive planning and coordination protocols. We did this not just with city departments, but also with our community partners who do this work every day. Many hadn't had the strongest relationships with the city government in recent years, but that kind of partnership and collaboration matters, and it's what is needed to deliver the results we needed. Through those partnerships, we provided shelter to more than 800 people with 20,000 bed nights. We served over 1,000 riders with shuttle transportation to shelter through community partnership. This was an unprecedented lift. Thank you. And we can't talk about accountability without talking about potholes. When I reviewed my first 100 days, I shared that we'd filled 1,800 potholes in just 100 days. And look, we've filled thousands more since then, but I know that this has not been the pothole transformation that I promised you. But let me be honest with you about why. We have not met our goals. In the months following the tornado, I made the decision to deprioritize potholes in favor of having our trucks and crews work on debris removal and clearing debris. Winter, as you know, causes even more potholes. And now that winter is over, pothole filling season has begun. And my office is working to ensure that our streets department under Director Jackson has the staff, the money, and the tools he needs to fill every pothole in this city. Whew, and there are a lot of potholes. Speaking of addressing issues, we have seen overflowing dumpsters. Am I right? This has been a problem for years and something I wanted to address quickly. Our refuse department has always worked hard, but they haven't always been set up for success. By making our refuse drivers go down our alleys twice to pick up refuse and recycling, we were wasting taxpayer dollars and our drivers' time and recycling very little. I know. As an avid recycler all my life, the solution wasn't one that I wanted to put in place. But by ending the alley recycling plan, and I want to thank our refuse drivers for bringing this idea to my attention. Mayor, we are spending too much time driving down alleys, picking up recycling that is going to the landfill. It's going to the landfill because it was so contaminated. Streamlining this, ending that program, has allowed us to expand the number of dumpsters to pick up trash, reducing overflow, and thanks to the residents who are bringing their recycling materials to the expanded drop sites throughout the city, we are now recycling more waste than we were before, and we're saving about $1 million a year doing it. It was not an easy decision, but it was the right decision. Rebuilding trust and fixing broken things requires modernization and innovation. And we're dragging City Hall into the 21st century, not gradually, but with urgency, to make our city government work for you with as little red tape as possible. I didn't say no red tape, but as little red tape as possible. As an example, we recently launched our new online building permit portal. For those of you who think we should have had building permits online years ago, I agree with you. But hey, listen, we are actively working on fixing these legacy systems and getting them right. Time is money, and while we know that you all love coming to City Hall on a regular basis, we wanted to reduce the number of multiple trips down here. So if you're a city resident or you're a business or anyone for that matter looking to invest in our city, we now have our building permits online, and the portal is ready for you. While much of the progress I just mentioned is good news, I'll be frank, our city is facing serious challenges right now. We can be optimistic, decisive, and action-oriented, but we've also got to be honest. We are facing real headwinds in the form of population loss. St. Louis has yet to turn around 70 years of population decline, and the Census Bureau just recently ranked our region dead last for a large metro growing area. We can't settle for last. We need to be shooting for number one. When we lose residents, it leaves with us vacancy, high vacancy rates, and an infrastructure that we can't afford to pay for with dwindling population. Vacant, decaying properties are not just an eyesore, they are a public safety risk and a daily symbol of disinvestment. We have to get more aggressive and accelerate stabilization of demolition of vacant, dangerous properties across the city, and we are doing that. We are committed to it. I want to thank former Mayor Slay for helping us do some of that work too. Thank you, Mayor Slay. Another area where we must be painfully transparent is our city's budget. We are operating with limited funds and an overworked, underpaid workforce. To really dig into our financial situation, we need to tackle some key areas: our water system, data centers, the Board of Police Commissioners, and what we pay our city workers. These are tough issues, folks, but here we go. Let's start with our city water infrastructure. The city and our water division are in crisis mode. For a while now, our water rates haven't covered the cost of providing the excellent water that we provide to our community. And maintaining a water system that is safe and dependable is a key priority for our city. St. Louis had a state-of-the-art water system in 1870. That's right, it was a long time ago. And years of ignoring it have led to a problem that you all know too well. Our water mains keep breaking. When this happens, St. Louisans lose running water, and we run the risk of contaminating our system. Yes, we've used ARPA money for some fixes, but we absolutely must invest in the system, not just to patch it up, but we need to invest in our water department for generations of St. Louisans to come. And that's why we initiated and we put forward a detailed rate study, and we are putting forward a plan that will include rate increases. And we will share very specific details on that soon. No mayor wants to stand before her residents and announce rate increases for city services. However, the harsh reality of where we are today, and I promised one thing, and that is to be honest with you. I can promise you that with this work, our water is going to remain better tasting and less expensive than what our county and other private water utilities in the rest of the region have to offer. It's necessary work, and we will do it together. The next hard topic, thank you, it's important. The next hard topic is data centers. We know that data centers are extremely controversial. We also know that St. Louis is home to this technology already, with 12 already in the city, and they are critical infrastructure to financial institutions, geospatial, and healthcare industries. They're part of a modern city, and the city is committed to being open for business. But let me be clear, business on our terms, with community benefits. This is admittedly a challenge. There are real concerns when it comes to data centers, real founded concerns about pollution, noise, walkability, the use of water, electricity, increasing everyone's power bills. And as a city, we can address some of those issues, but not all of them. The city can regulate things like sustainability, noise, and water use. But we also know there are benefits. It seems counterintuitive, but if we had a large water user, it could benefit our existing customers. High volume, consistent users can expand the rate base, allowing the real cost of our system maintenance to be spread with deep pockets and helping our residential residents, our water payers. It's also true that data centers can contribute tax revenue. I think you've all seen the news that a data center could contribute as much as $25 million to a city, and even more to our St. Louis public schools. That's more than the annual budget of many of our city departments. So it's not a simple yes or no. The city is doing the hard work to create thoughtful, community-centered regulations and balance real concerns with real economic benefits. Now, I know you're all also wondering about another tough topic, the Board of Police Commissioners. And I want to state very clearly that these issues are between the city and the board, and not with the officers who serve the police department. The hard work they do is dangerous, and it's essential, and I am deeply grateful to their service. The issues with the board aren't personal. They're legal, they're fiscal, and they're operational. Their certified budget request of effectively $274 million isn't feasible without laying off city employees and cutting city services like trash pickup, building inspections, road repairs, and park maintenance. The city has proposed a budget of $219 million, which is a healthy increase. It respects and preserves recent raises, the ability to provide more and cover other expenses while responsibly protecting all city services and the essential city workers who work in our many other city departments. Despite the city's significant efforts to protect other departments, we came to an impasse with the board. This is a serious roadblock, and last week I made the difficult decision to direct our city to file a lawsuit challenging the underlying law and its unfounded mandates as unconstitutional. This is a fight worth fighting, and it's not the first time we fought it. Under former Mayor Francis Slay, we fought and won control of our police department, and we will fight and win again. As I think about this first year, it's largely been about stabilization and triage. And as I look ahead to where we're going, I want to introduce you to 5 key initiatives, areas where my administration will be prioritizing this next year. They're not in any particular order. We will do them all. Number 1, strengthen neighborhoods. We will revitalize neighborhoods, particularly in North St. Louis, and we will accelerate the demolition and repair of tornado-damaged properties. We'll provide rental assistance to ensure residents have a path to stay or return to St. Louis. Focus area number 2, rebuild trust in city services. We will fix the things that residents see and touch every single day. We will do this equally across neighborhoods. Expect results and for us to hold ourselves accountable with clear, measurable, demonstrable goals. Number 3, cultivate a culture of customer first and collaboration. We are defining clear key performance indicators for every department, and we will invest in our people so they can continue investing in the work we do for our communities. Number 4, accelerate economic development and revitalization. We will grow our tax base by making St. Louis the easiest place in the region to do business by making our processes and our systems accessible and incentivized. And we'll do some of that with the leadership of our new SLDC director, Stephen Westbrooks, who's with us tonight. And area number 5, modernizing city government. We will develop a long-term recruitment and retention strategy for all city departments and will strategically utilize taxpayer money to enhance the services we provide, and we'll do a large amount of this work under the leadership of our new personnel director, Brian Light, who's with us tonight. Okay, Mayor, you've listed a lot of things. There's a lot of things going on. Where will you start? Well, we're going to start with allocating the RAM settlement funds. It's no secret that President Megan Green and I have disagreed on issues in the past, but I want you to know that we have both come to the table and we agree on this. A RAM spending package must be a pivotal inflection point for our community. It must make meaningful, leverageable investments in rebuilding North St. Louis, modernizing city infrastructure, and growing our downtown economy. It must do all 3. Without all 3, our city has no chance, none, at growing or succeeding. Thank you, President Green, for working with our office. Thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for also working on growing our city's population as we speak. To all the members of the board, I know that working together, we can get this package done. So let's get it done. Let's introduce a bill in May, and let's get that package passed through the Board of Aldermen and get it going. As we invest in our city's growth and success, we also must invest in our employees. As I stated earlier, I am committed to meeting the needs of our entire workforce. Our employees are literally the backbone of St. Louis and work incredibly hard for our neighborhoods, our parks, our streets, our water systems. We must ensure that they are paid what they deserve to consistently deliver high-quality city services that St. Louisans need and expect. Investing in them is the investment in our city's future. For too long, the city has underpaid its staff compared to neighboring municipalities. I am so pleased to announce tonight that following an in-depth compensation study by the Department of Personnel, all city employees in classified service, pending final approval by the Civil Service Commission and the Board of Aldermen, will receive a minimum 3% pay increase. This action effectively raises the minimum compensation floor for all our city workers. Furthermore, some employees whose current minimums are significantly below market rates will receive additional targeted increases to bring their salaries to a competitive level. This impacts a lot of our city workers. These folks can expect to see those raises reflected in their first July paycheck. Additionally, most city workers will receive a $1,000 lump sum in their paycheck on June 18th. We didn't get the raises done this year, and you deserve that. For city employees watching tonight, your supervisors will have more information to share with you about this next week. Thank you for being with the city and for all that you do. You deserve it. I leave you tonight with a theme that has driven us since day one. This city's future is not a passive thing. It requires action and it requires commitment. It requires us to work together. Over this past year, we've seen that what happens again and again in big ways and small. We know we can do this. We know how to be with the city. You've heard me say that many times tonight, with the city. I want to share with you how that came about. And I want to highlight, well, we're gonna wing this. I want to share with you how that came about. I was at a town hall about a month ago, and I asked everybody in the room I wanted to highlight who worked for the city, and I asked, who's with the city? And about half the room raised their hands, and I thought, you don't work for the city. Who works for the city? And we had quite a couple dozen city workers in the room that night. But I thought, you know what? No, who's with the city? And the whole room raised their hands. And that moment has really stuck with me. It perfectly captured that spirit, the spirit of St. Louis, that shared sense of ownership over our community and our future. The belief that every individual is a stakeholder in our city's success. It's a reflection of our deep commitment and our community pride and the collective willingness to step up. It's a tradition of not just living here, but really actively being a part of the solution. So I have a question for you all tonight. Who's with the city? All right, who's with the city? Who's with the city? That's right. Who's with the city? Who is with the city? I'm going to need, that's great, because we're going to need each and every one of you. Let's commit to it. Let's hold each other accountable. Let's prove it with our relationships, with our investments, and let's prove it with our actions. We have a long road ahead, but the foundations are set. Our city workforce are set. Our partners are set. The city is ready. Let's get back to work, and let's do it with the city. Thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for being with the city. It's been a long and it's been a hot night. We don't have excellent AC in here. That's something we've got to work on. But we do have a small reception upstairs, and I'd like to just invite everybody, if you'd like. There's a little bit of AC in the mayor's office, and we do have some snacks. We don't have a lot to go around, but please come on. Everybody who's stuck around deserves a little bit of snack for tonight. Come on up. If you want to go home, go home.
Shooting for the stars, but I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a time, but I always had a vision. Always had high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living. Didn't know how, but I always had a feeling I was gonna be that one in a million. Always had high hopes. Mama said, something for oddities, stranger kisses. Ain't ever wanted
that's waiting up for me that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy.